Honest is good. I think the note that you just mentioned, right? The idea that we are outside. There's no idea that this is going to stop us from actually being out here, right? I think the idea that we're all having had a good time enjoying each other's company, but I think it's the reason for why we're definitely out here. There's the spirit of MLK, and the need for us to be out here is getting more important. And being outside just makes it even better.
Yeah, I mean, the energy's good, the music's out, there's a good turnout for different organizations. I mean, it's pretty exciting.
Absolutely, I think that's the idea. The fact that we have multiple different organizations here, that has stood out. As we were walking in, there was a couple of individuals who came from Texas, and they wanted to just take pictures with us because they kind of figured we were steppers. But just even seeing that energy from the young students made it even worthwhile.
Tell me the importance of today, the importance of recognizing MLK. We've been doing it since 1983, but why is today, this year, still so important to recognize?
Very much so important. And when you think about this recent discussion related to voting rights, and we think about how MLK strive to actually make that very possible for us, but civil rights in general, I think it's important for us to recognize the importance of that. Just by us being out here and relating that this is something for us to come out, bringing that same energy to coming out for voting rights as well. So I can only imagine this is going to continue for the rest of the year in terms of the perception.
Tell me the impact of the parade. The parade here in Las Vegas, Las Vegas history as far as, civil rights and racial equality. We had the Moulin Rouge agreement, so this, as far as black people working on the strip and working in the casino. So tell me the importance of the impact of this parade, especially here in Las Vegas.
The idea that there's multiple different organizations that represent the black culture within Vegas, and the idea that they are showing themselves out in many ways. From individuals who are part of, whether it's RTC or whether it's State Farm or whether it's M&GM, or quite frankly, small business owners. Even the general idea that you have some barbers, coming in on floats, kind of cutting hair. That level of culture and what it brings to the Vegas organization or Vegas state is something I think is very important for us to recognize as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of kids out here. So it's good to see, kids out here, teens out here. Tell me more about that.
As I mentioned so recently, like when we had a couple of kids coming through, and even us as an organization, we do have a couple of mentors. And it's something to when they see people who look like them, striving the way that they're striving, being out here, it's that energy that makes it all worthwhile, right? There's a reason why we're doing what we're doing. And what I want to look for in the future is the idea of seeing them come through and bringing on this same energy moving forward.
What do you think Dr. King would think of, this parade? I mean, it's not just black people out here, it's people of all races, Latino, white, Asian. So what do you think he would think of this parade?
The idea that we are all walking collectively together with the same feeling, same happiness, same energy, I think what he would literally say is a job well done. And I think for us, even as him being part of our fraternity organization, that's something that we also keep in our minds and strive for as well. But I think what he would definitely say, this is probably the most beautiful sight he's ever seen in Las Vegas.
And also, what would you say, there's some folks who are at home who didn't make it out. What would you tell them to get them to come out and support, or just even be a spectator for next year?
I think at the end of the day, there's some recognition. Obviously, maybe people didn't come out for different reasons, right? And one of them being concerns, obviously, with what's kind of happening. But I think there's still that energy that they can definitely see as viewers. But more importantly is they can still come out. Whether, again, it's physically have good time socially, but also to recognize the importance of today. But as I mentioned before, there's some aspect of voting rights as well that I think should be considered, and making sure that never hinders our ability to still exercise our right to enjoy and to do what we need to do.
What when you look across the sea of people, how would you describe it?
Oh man, a multitude of facets of different faces and races and creed and religions and beliefs. And honestly, it's beautiful. And it's one of those things when you just see it and you feel at peace walking through. There's no concern, no tension. That's beautiful, honestly. Beautiful day out.
Anything else you want to share?
I just want to say, honestly, it's good to be out here. Again, as I said, I'm the Vice President chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated. We coming in full force. Of course, respect to all the Divine Nine organizations, but Alpha Phi Alpha, we're definitely here as well.
And you all kind of help. There's a King Committee. So do you help with the King Committee, or do y'all have your own events that you're doing?
A bit of both, right? So there's many individuals who are representing the organization that do help with the King Committee. But in our way, we actually had a couple of events this past weekend as well, whether it's to recognize one of our brothers that passed away. We also kicked off an MLK breakfast this morning as well. So there's different things that we're making sure that we're doing to kind of commemorate the actual day today as well.